Hello and welcome to another review. This time we're looking at a set of 6 night jet cars as operated by Austrian State Railway, and this is a set of models released by LS Models and their Model World label in spring 2019. This is set number MW1810, representing consists of the night jet train 471, and this is one of the pamphlets, one of the information cards that we are getting together with the set in the box. On the opposite side there's the entire consist and the timetable for the train. And here's the full consist starting from the back of the train. 2 double-decker sleeping cars, followed by 2 couchettes, and then 2 second-class cars with sitting accommodation, and the paint scheme matching Taurus 1160 is not included with the set. This is separate model from Rocco, and we'll talk about this locomotive a little bit more at the end of the presentation. As always from LS Models, super premium box, very nice packaging. This is the Model World label. I'm not quite sure what's the story with the sub-brand for LS Models, but here's the label. And this set is going in Europe for about 500 euros. So inside, of course, hard cardboard, a bunch of documentations and papers, manuals for some of the cars, assembly manual for additional parts, more manuals how to open some of them, and then included you have this very nice 1-to-1 reprint of the directional card from your train, included timetable and the classifications of all the cars. And here's very interesting card as well, which is pretty much showing the entire consist. So the 471, there are 2 sets, as you can see. This is the 1810, which we're reviewing right now. This is the 1811, which is Hamburg-Zurich, and this set has not been released yet. As you can see, these 2 trains are coming from 2 different directions. Hamburg and Berlin, then in Germany, are being combined and going to Zurich as one set. So this train, once released altogether, will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cars altogether. Fantastic. I had the opportunity to take this route from Zurich to Hamburg. I'm looking forward for the second consist to be released. This one is the route from Berlin to Zurich. Of course, the cars are already on the layout, but pretty much they are packaged in very nice boxes, stuck together in sets of 3, and there are additional parts located next to each model in small pouches. And at the bottom of the box is another one right there. And starting with the double-deckers, as expected from LS Models, the overall first impression of overall quality is excellent, and of course is reflected in the price point of this set. The close coupling mechanism is very tight. I'm using Fleischmann couplers, and as you can see, the buffers are not touching, but the transition pieces here between the cars are pretty much face to face and touching. There's a contact. There's pretty much no space. And here's the micro lens at work, just for scale. This is 0.7 millimeters pencil. more markings clearly visible. And this is the opposite side of the second car. And here's the door window. And you can see the car number 301, the directional plate, and you can see actually the holders for the plate on the side, the imitations of it, like here the silver pieces. This is absolutely fantastic. And then the next car is actually the opposite. The car number is at the bottom and directional plate is slightly higher. And of course, clearly visible and highly detailed interior. And the roof lines. As you can see, the paint quality is absolutely fantastic. End walls with retractable transition plates. Of course, diamond patterns here on the top side. Solid buffers. And the bogies or tracks and suspension. Very nicely detailed. You can see all the stabilizers and the suspension parts. There are some additional parts also in the box. And of course, full braking system with disc brakes. Very nice. And here's the other side. Execution of the brake system is another excellent example of attention to details. You can not only see all 6 disc brakes, but they are actually double disc rotors with cooling fins in between them, and clearly visible brake pads. And here are both of the double deckers sandwiched together. So you can remove bogies just by pulling them out. That's pretty much nowadays industry standard solution. You have a socket and snap-on lock on the other side. And the same thing here. And here they are in the full glory. Alright, so let's take a look inside. I already primed one of the cars. Actually, they are surprisingly easy to open, even though the fit is really pretty much perfect and very tight. I use the old trick of using strips of old hotel key or credit card, and then I have some of these keys which I got from one of the old LS models, and just simply prime the model. So let's see. Okay. So industry standard pretty much approach with snap-on shell. And this is the corridor side. As you can see, there's also a groove left out here in the panels across the entire car to accommodate light strip. really like the execution of the attendant compartment with all the cabinets and storage compartments. Of course, you can read the compartment numbers and the individual seat assignments numbers, and just to give you a scale, this is the X-Acto knife, give you a perspective. So if you ever had the chance to take a trip on board of this train and you decide to build a model of it, just keep or hold on to your original ticket, or make sure you remember your seat assignment, and you'll be able to identify your compartment in HO scale. Madness. And another example of LS Models dedication to prototypical executions are these storage compartments here in the tables. And this is the upper level. I wonder if there is any wine or beer in any of these compartments. Or maybe that's next year release. And to assemble these cars back together is equally easy. Just you have to pay attention for these two electrical wires or connectors on both ends. Here's the orientation pin. And voila, s'il vous plaît. As good as new. To my knowledge, none of these models are completely new to LS Models portfolio. They are just simply released in different new and updated paint schemes as operated now in 2018-2019. Included the double-deckers which were released previously in a couple of different paint schemes, and this is a few years old LS Models set. Included the double-decker sleeping cars in the City Nightline paint scheme as operated in mid-90s. Okay, so let's move on to our next suspect. Car number 303BVCMBZ59. That's a couchette. This is the corridor side, and the opposite side, the compartment side. You can right away see the details and the ladders inside the compartments. And this is the opposite side, the corridor side. As you can see, the paint quality is absolutely fantastic. and the bogies or the tracks. And again, so brake system executed with the disc brakes on the axles, and you can also see the pads here. Very nice. And here's the back wall. Right, so let's take a look inside. Again, bogies first. Right, so this car seems to be a little bit more difficult to open than the double-decker, but gently I was able to release the pins, and here's the interior. That's the corridor side. And the compartment side. And of course the dedicated space for light strip. I assume this is the attendant compartment, and as you can see, it's not even remotely as intricate as executed inside the double-decker models. Alright, so let's put this car back together. And like I said, when you decide to open this car for, let's say, lights installation, you have to be a little bit careful because it's tighter than the double-deckers, but it's totally doable. And there's, as you can see, there's plenty of space for potential decoders or capacitors. There's tons of space here and here. Yeah. This one will need tools to spread it out. It's definitely tighter. Right. Snap. Done. So the installation of interior lights should be relatively easy. And our next suspect, second couchette. And this is much newer car. That's the BC MZ5991. So let's take a look. Here's the compartment side, of course, and the corridor side. And again, perfect paint job. the trucks or bogies. Again, excellent. Full braking system. And here's the back one. Again, retractable transition plate. One more thing I wanted to point out from detail standpoint of view, all the screws or rivets here and on the frame around here. Very nice, very prototypical. Here's some of the interior visible through windows. Right, so let's take a look inside. Same procedures with the trucks. Okay, and once you release the pins, this one is actually easy to open. That's the corridor side, of course, and it's actually very impressive. That is very nice. And here's the opposite side with the control panel printed on. Here's the compartment side, of course, starting with the attendant compartment. I really liked all the controls printed on the walls and on the equipment. That's all. And here are the controls. You can actually see the individual functions printed on the wall. And this is the corridor side. Fantastic model. And again, you can see the space left in the middle for a light strip. So let's put it back together. So it's actually very easy to put back together. Installation of interior lights should be a snap. And the last two cars in the consist are the two identical MW1810 cars, and they are both second class sitting accommodation. This is the compartment side. And then the second car is obviously on facing the corridor side, and you can see the detailing inside already. And the roof line. And again, both of them are identical. And both of the cars together. And here's another fine example of prototypical execution. This is car number 146 and this is 114. They are both the same class cars, but as you can see, prototypically they have two different colors. And one more thing I wanted to point it out are the shades or the blinds. I've seen before from other manufacturers to have the two identical cars just simply being copied and maybe the numbers changed. So this is the 114 and this one is 146. And as you can see, the shades or the blinds were arranged differently for both cars. So they are not repeating. And one more cool feature is the control panel visible through the window here. That's very nice. Okay, so let's take one of these cars apart. Alright, so a little bit of a struggle. This one was probably the most difficult to open them out of all of them, but I was able to open finally. And here it is. I don't know how well you can see it, but I really like these texturized panels here. That is very interesting. Here's the control panel once again behind the glass cabinet door, and this is 0.7 millimeters pencil for scale. And I don't know about you guys, but personally for me, these are the last two cars that when reviewing, looking inside, are the best commercially available plastic passenger cars models interiors I've ever seen. Very well done, LS Models. So putting it back together shouldn't be a big deal. And again, quickly, there's a space left for light strip. And yep, gentle snap. Now the way the shells are fitted together for all the cars, so some of them a little bit more difficult to open, especially the last one, but the fit and the way how the parts are coming together is absolutely fantastic. So you don't really have to worry too much about taking these cars apart and installing the interior lights. You have to be careful, of course. These are highly detailed models and expensive, obviously, so make sure you have the right tools. But it's not really big of a deal, and especially putting it back together is just everything is fitting perfectly fine, and without using any excessive force you can take them apart and assemble them back together. So that was the last car from the consist, and then maybe let's take a look and talk about the Taurus for a few minutes, even though it's not part of the entire set. And this is the matching paint scheme Taurus 1116 number 195, released by Rocco. And as far as I know, this model is already sold out from the market for quite some time. Rocco is making the 1116 Taurus models already for quite some time. This is the latest version with updated 22 plugs DCC interface. And I got this one at the end of 2018. So if you are looking for one, you have some serious hunting to do because they are rare. In general, a lot of small parts and details, excellent paint quality, very good drive as always from Rocco. A perfect match for that 9-jet set if you want to have a matching locomotive. Well, this video is already 31 minutes long, so let's wrap this up. So here's my personal conclusion. For me, LS Models is consistently delivering some of the best looking and most intricate commercially available plastic models in HO scale. And this set is simply another example of their capabilities. Of course, the quality is coming with the price, and actually quite high price tag, as I mentioned before, about 500 euros, about 550 US dollars. So in US, if you decide to buy this set, by the time you add the taxes and the shipping, you're gonna end it up, well, close to about $100 per car. As you had the opportunity to see, overall, absolutely fantastic looking set of cars. However, at such high price point, I do have one negative comment. I noticed significant difference in how some of the individual cars' interiors were executed. Clearly, some of the newer models have absolutely outstanding interior details, included all the controls printed on the walls and storage compartments and texturized panels. Some of the other cars, the interior detailing is just simply very good. And then there's this one odd older couchette with interior detailing, which I will rate above average. And sorry, but for this price point, I would like to see a little bit more consistency in finishing and quality. However, this set is delivering something way more unique and special for me than just high quality HO scale model. My son and I had the opportunity to take this actual train, but in reverse, departing from Zurich. So having the ability to have a HO scale model where I can identify the very specific car number, compartment, and seat assignments as per our tickets is definitely taking the entire model railroading hobby to the next level. So thank you very much, LS Models, and happy model railroading. Thank you for watching.